Welcome to the world of history, history enthusiasts. Today, we're exploring the fascinating history behind the inner demons of the four great conquerors. Number 1. Alexander the Great, a name synonymous with unparalleled conquest and military genius, embarked on a relentless campaign of expansion that reshaped the ancient world. Born in 356 BC in Pella, Macedonia, to King Philip II and Queen Olympias, Alexander was tutored by Aristotle and inherited a powerful kingdom and a well-trained army. His ambition led him to conquer vast territories, extending from Greece to Egypt and deep into Asia. The turning point in Alexander's campaign came during his expedition in India, around 326 BC. After a series of grueling battles, including the significant victory against King Porus at the Battle of the Hydaspes, his army, worn out and homesick, reached the Beas River. Here, his men, exhausted by years of campaigning and wary of further battles, implored Alexander to return. Reluctantly, Alexander agreed, marking the end of his eastward expansion. Alexander's return journey to Babylon was marred by difficulties, including a punishing march through the Gedrosian desert. His health began to deteriorate, exacerbated by his habit of heavy drinking. In 323 BC, after a prolonged banquet in Babylon, Alexander fell seriously ill. His condition worsened rapidly, and on his deathbed, he famously declared that his empire should go to the strongest. This statement set the stage for the subsequent wars of the Diadochi, as his generals fought for control over different parts of his vast empire. There is speculation that Alexander may have been in a state of coma, caused by a fever or other illness, rather than dead when he was buried. This theory arises from accounts that his body showed no signs of decomposition for several days. Alexander's death at the age of 32 marked the end of an era, but his legacy as one of history's greatest military leaders endures. Number 2. Julius Caesar, a figure whose name is synonymous with power and ambition, was deeply influenced by the legacy of Alexander the Great. Caesar's rise to power in Rome was marked by a combination of military brilliance, political acumen, and a relentless pursuit of personal glory. Born into the Julii family, an old and noble patrician line, in 100 BC, Caesar quickly rose through the ranks of Roman politics and society. His early career was marked by a series of military campaigns, most notably in Spain and Gaul. These campaigns not only expanded Roman territory but also significantly boosted Caesar's popularity and power. His conquest of Gaul, detailed in his own writings, Commentari de Bello Gallico, was particularly notable for its combination of military strategy and political propaganda. However, it was his crossing of the Rubicon River in 49 BC, a direct challenge to the Roman Senate, and a de facto declaration of civil war that marked the turning point in his quest for power. This bold move was a testament to his ambition and his willingness to defy the traditional Roman political order. The ensuing civil war culminated in Caesar's victory at the Battle of Pharsalus, where he defeated the forces of Pompey, his political rival and former ally. In the aftermath of his victory, Caesar was appointed dictator, a role traditionally meant to be temporary and limited in scope. However, Caesar's appointment was for an unprecedented 10 years. In 44 BC, he was named Dictator Perpetuo, or Dictator for Life, a clear move towards absolute power and a significant departure from the Roman Republic's ideals of shared governance. Caesar's rule saw significant reforms, including the introduction of the Julian calendar, extensive public works, and efforts to integrate the provinces more fully into the Roman state. However, his concentration of power and his apparent ambition to establish a monarchy were deeply unsettling to many in the Roman elite. His style of leadership, often seen as autocratic and dismissive of traditional republican values, further alienated him from the Senate. The culmination of these tensions was his assassination on the Ides of March, 44 BC, by a group of senators. Among them was Marcus Junius Brutus, a figure often romanticized as a defender of the Republic. Brutus, whom Caesar had pardoned after the Civil War and had once been close to, was a key figure in the conspiracy. The assassination, carried out in the theater of Pompeii during a Senate meeting, was a dramatic and violent end to Caesar's rule. He was stabbed 23 times, a brutal act reflecting the deep animosity and fear he had engendered among the Senate's ranks. Caesar's death plunged Rome into a series of civil wars, leading to the end of the Roman Republic and the rise of the Roman Empire under his adopted heir, Gaius Octavius, later known as Augustus. The legacy of Julius Caesar is a complex one. He was a military genius, a shrewd politician, and a reformer, but also a figure whose ambition and disregard for republican norms set the stage for the end of the Roman Republic. His life and death remain a powerful story of ambition, power, and the consequences of absolute authority. Number 3. Genghis Khan, the founder and first great Khan of the Mongol Empire, stands out in history for his brutal conquests and unapologetic acknowledgement of his tyrannical rule. Born around 1162 as Temujin in the Mongolian steppe, he rose from humble beginnings to establish the largest contiguous empire in history. His military campaigns were marked by fierce battles, strategic genius, and a ruthless approach to warfare. The circumstances surrounding Genghis Khan's death in 1227 remain shrouded in mystery and are a subject of various accounts and legends. One prevalent theory suggests that he succumbed to the bubonic plague, a devastating disease that ravaged populations during that era. Another account posits that he was fatally wounded in battle, possibly during a campaign against the Western Xia in China. A more dramatic and less substantiated story claims that he was killed by a captive princess from the Western Xia or Khwarezmian Empire, who sought revenge for her people's subjugation. In an effort to maintain the momentum of the Mongol Empire's expansion and to prevent any potential power struggles or disruptions, Genghis Khan's death was kept a closely guarded secret. His burial site was concealed, and according to legend, the soldiers who buried him killed anyone they encountered to erase any trace of the location, further adding to the enigma of his final resting place. Genghis Khan's legacy is a complex one, marked by his unparalleled military successes, the vast empire he created, and the brutal methods he employed to achieve his goals. His death, much like his life, remains a blend of historical fact and myth, reflecting the enduring fascination with one of history's most formidable and enigmatic conquerors. Number 4. Napoleon Bonaparte, a figure renowned for his military acumen and strategic innovations, dramatically reshaped the nature of warfare in the early 19th century. Born in 1769 on the island of Corsica, Napoleon rose rapidly through the military ranks during the tumultuous years of the French Revolution. He distinguished himself as an artillery officer and later as a general, leading successful campaigns in Italy and Egypt, which elevated his status as a military leader and a national hero. Napoleon's ascent to power culminated in 1799, when he staged a coup d'etat and installed himself as first consul, eventually becoming Emperor of the French in 1804. His reign saw a series of military campaigns known as the Napoleonic Wars, where he brought much of continental Europe under his control. His innovative strategies, such as the corps system and rapid maneuvering, along with his ability to inspire his troops, led to numerous victories. However, the tide turned with his disastrous invasion of Russia in 1812, followed by a series of defeats, including the pivotal Battle of Leipzig in 1813. His final defeat came at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, a crushing loss to the Allied forces under the Duke of Wellington and Gebhard Leberecht von Blücher. Following Waterloo, Napoleon was captured by the British and exiled to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic. In isolation, Napoleon spent his last years reflecting on his life and achievements, dictating his memoirs and pondering over his lost empire. He died in 1821, reportedly still yearning for the power and glory he once held. Napoleon's legacy endures as one of history's most celebrated and controversial military leaders, whose impact on European politics and military strategy is still evident today. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating history stories. Until next time.